Hi, this will be another video tutorial for my website, Loop Braiding, at loopbraider.com. This video will demonstrate another pattern and a new technique for making flat 7-loop braids, similar to the ones in my Continue Here 7-loop square and flat braid tutorial. This particular pattern, actually it's several patterns. Here's the striped version of and then here are some contrasting patterns you can do within the same braid. This particular pattern does require new skills, so I'm making this video for it. I have many other patterns for 7-loop braids on the website that I don't have video tutorials for because they don't require it. So if you're only watching the videos on YouTube, you're missing a lot of color patterns, a lot of different braids that you can find on my actual teaching website, loopbraider.com. Okay, this one requires something called color linking, which is adds an extra step to the braiding process, but it has really cool results, so it's definitely worth doing. I am using some bicolor loops in this particular braid. The technique does not require bicolor loops. Let me park these for a minute and show you essentially, again, the braid. This particular color pattern has it's a 7-loop braid, a flat braid. It has 3 bicolor loops, 2 all black loops, and 2 all white loops, and they are arranged like so. So let's get my fingers up here. So on the left hand, the A and B finger have white loops, index and middle. C and D have, in my case I have orange and turquoise bicolor loops, both with the orange facing up, the orange as the upper shank. On the right hand, the right index and middle, the A and B finger, have all black loops, and the ring finger, the C finger, has the same bicolor loop as the other two loops, again with the orange, the same side on the upper side. I will just braid at first and somewhat slowly, and then I will explain what I'm doing so that you quick learners out there don't have to suffer through my talking. You can just watch. Let's back this up a bit. Okay, I will say that it's a flat braid, so the left transfer will be turned and the right transfer will not be turned. And the transfer is done in 2 stages to link the 2 adjoining color groups together so they don't cross each other. So it's a 2-part loop transfer. Turn, shift, and place. That was half the loop transfer. Now I will continue the loop transfer. Tighten. On the other side, loops are a bit too long, I think. On the other side, the same moves. So the first half of the loop transfer, no turn, shift, continuing the loop transfer. Left side, turn. Right side, no turn. Okay, what's happening here is you are trying to keep each color group together. You never want the white loops to cross over through the other colors. You never want the black, I'm doing this symmetrically on the 2 sides. You never want the black to cross the bicolor loops. So to do that, you link the adjoining color groups together. The first loop transfer, I will be taking the index loop as usual, but I will take it from below the first below the border of the white and the colored loop. So I will not insert my finger from the very bottom. I will insert it from one loop below the border, the boundary. I'm taking it with a turn because it's a turn to transfer on that side. Then I do a partial shift and place the taken loop. The transfer's only half done. I'm going to place it there on the ring finger. Now I'm going to continue the loop transfer, and I'm going to take the loop that doesn't belong, the bicolor loop, bring it back through that white loop that just came through it. This will link the two loops. Hopefully that'll even show in the camera. So I'm continuing the transfer now, taking the colored loop through the white one. That links the two loops. Shift, and now tighten. The bicolor loop is essentially subbing for the white loop. On the other side, the same thing happens. These loops are a bit too long for the camera. I will be taking the black loop, but I do it in 2 stages, and this loop will sub for it in the second stage, this bicolor loop. So I go one loop below the boundary of the colors, take the black loop without a turn, shift, place, and now I'm going to continue the transfer, going through the bottom and taking the loop that doesn't belong. It doesn't belong within the blacks, taking this bicolor loop back. My mantra might be take the orange. So I'm going to take it. None of these takes get turned except for the one outer left one here. It's just understood that the rest are straight or unreversed, whatever you call a straight transfer, open. Okay, so again, one below the color boundary, turn, place, finish the transfer by taking the orange, shift, tighten. Other side, one below the color boundary, no turn, partial shift, finish the transfer by taking the orange, tighten. Turn, place, take the orange, tighten. One below the boundary, no turn. Finish by taking the orange, tighten. Turn, take the orange, tighten. One below the boundary, no turn. Place. Finish the transfer by taking the orange, tighten. Okay, I will show you the pattern we have so far is this braid's folded, and then when it's done you open it to be a flat braid, as I teach in the 7-loop square and flat braid videos, tutorials. None of the colors pass each other, so you end up with, when you open it, you end up with these doubled, it's not focusing well, let's see, with these rows of colors. The orange always stayed on the upper layer of the braid because it was never, those loops were never turned over, the bicolor loop. So the orange is on one side. The blue half of the bicolor loops is on the other side, or turquoise, white in the middle. Now you can, this is, linking is optional. You can stop linking and then get different color patterns. So, you know, it's something you choose to do. It's a way of controlling the colors. And so you can then stop doing it or only do it with some of the colors to get interesting patterns within your braid. So the next pattern I will do I will let the orange, I will let the white and bicolor loops cross each other, but I will not let the black loops interact with them. So the black loops will stay on the right edge of the braid, but the white and bicolor loops will I won't restrain them, I won't link them. So I will start let's see, I want to pause this for a minute and then I'll start because I have to do something first. Okay, I think I won't do that. Okay, I'm just going to keep going, and now I will not be linking the first transfer, I will be linking with the second transfer. So, in this case, I just go do a normal turned transfer. I'm going to go through all the loops but the last one and take it with a turn. Here, though, I will be linking, and so I'm going to go through, find the boundary, go one loop below it, no turn, and now I continue the transfer by getting the loop that doesn't belong. It's bicolor loop. Back here on the left side, I do a normal turned transfer. There's no linking. Now I find the boundary on the right. Here it's between a black and a white loop, but that doesn't matter. I go one loop below the boundary, take the first part of the transfer without a turn, and now finish it by taking the loop that doesn't belong. In this case it's white. I could say get the white or get the loop that doesn't belong. Left side has no linking. Right side, find the boundary, one loop below it, no turn, get the loop that doesn't belong, tighten. So we keep doing this. I should have pointed out the bicolor loops have been turned over, and now for a while they started with orange on top, as you might remember. Then they actually went to all blue on top, or turquoise on top as I turned them. And now they're coming back to the orange on top, and I will get to when they come back to their starting positions, I will stop and show the pattern and check for mistakes, because I make them very easily when I'm trying to demo and talk and all at the same time. So now I'm back to, the loops are back to the cycle start position of 2 white on the left, 3 bicolor in the middle with the orange shanks up, and black on the side. So let's see if I've made any mistakes, and also the first thing I check is if any of the transfers on the right were accidentally turned, and then it wouldn't open cleanly. So I open it up, And now the colors are moving across the braid, and it doesn't. I've only done one pattern repeat, so it doesn't show very well. But this is essentially this pattern. Let's see. This does not have automatic focus, so I have to. Anyway, it's essentially this pattern, and I am linking only the black. So the edges of the braid are black. If I had linked the white, I would have a white line in the center. So we have this little black border and then these bicolor chevrons in the middle. Let's see if I can squeeze in another pattern. One of the patterns that I did in this sample braid was to essentially do what I'm doing now, but to keep the blue color, the turquoise color, always on the right of the bicolor loops. That involves another kind of color linking. Another kind of color linking, which is done with bicolor loops only. So it won't show that clearly in this braid, but I'll demo how to do it. Now, instead of turning the bicolor loops when I come to them, instead of turning them normally, I will turn each one twice. So here's a regular turn. Here's the linking. I'm linking the black by going one loop below it and then finishing here. Do this one more time and then I'll start to transfer the bicolor loops and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so now on the other side, linking the black. Okay, now I'm about to start transferring the bicolor loops. Before I turned them normally, and that brought the turquoise color up, which brought the turquoise to the left side of the braid, and the next round, when it got the next pattern repeat, the orange was back up. Now I'm not going to let the colors change, but I do want to turn them because I want a flat braid. So the solution is to turn each loop twice. It's another kind of color linking. It will essentially link the two colors of the shanks. It will link the shanks of one loop together. So I'm going to go through. This is the simplest way, is to go through all the loops, take it with a turn, and then turn it again. Continue that same turn around. It now got a 360-degree turn instead of a 180-degree turn. And then you just treat it like a regular loop. So now we're going to link the black. And again, each time I take a bicolor loop with a turn, instead of turning it once, I will turn it twice. So I take it with a turn. I'm turning it so the blue side will come up, will be uppermost, but then I continue the turn around. It has to be in the same direction, or you'll just undo the turn and then you'll have a divided braid. So I continued it around. I now had a 360-degree turn, and the orange stayed up. The orange half will always be on the upper side, the left. You open it the left side of the braid, link on the right, and tighten. Now I'll demo a faster way to do this double turn. You can go through the loops, and then instead of just taking it normally by pulling down the orange, you can sort of reach behind and actually get the blue, get the bottom shank from behind. I help with this by kind of pushing the top shank down with my thumb and ease it off the finger. That gives it a 360-degree turn in one move. It's a little fussier to make, but it's faster. So then linking on the right. I don't have to do that with the white loops. I can just take them with a normal turn. Link. So again, I turn this white one normally. Now here come my bicolor loops again. Let's link on the right. So I will do that sort of that faster but fussier double turn now. So I'm going to go through all of these, ease that over, grab the lower loop, to turn it. That was a 360-degree turn link. And again, I'll go through, grab the back or the bottom, giving it a, I think you can see that in the video camera. This has a, anyway, it twists around itself and the orange comes back up. That links in the braid. The upper shank of the loop will be linked around the lower shank. In the braid it will still be a flat braid, but the colors will not change. So double turn and link. And now again, I'm back to cycle start. So to pattern, the pattern repeat. Here was the color linking, where all the colors were linked. Well, both color borders were linked. Here I just linked the right color border, the open side, the side that was going to open. That's what makes a border. And I did not link the bicolor loops, and I also let them turn over normally. So the blue or turquoise came over to the upper layer of the braid, the left side. Then it went back to the right, and then I started linking the shanks of the bicolor loops as I turned them, and only the orange stayed on the left side now. It's a subtle difference as a pattern, but it does show. Here I separated it with another section. Here we go. Here was where this was where I linked the bicolor loops, and let's wait. Okay, so this was where I did not link my bicolor loops, and here you can see the colors alternating: blue, orange, and on the other side, orange, blue, orange. So it's a little bit of a different pattern. So it's just a couple of options. And let's see. The back side of the braid will look very different from the front with this few loops, with this few of 7 loops. So, well, actually, it looks slightly different with more loops. But with this particular braid, I tend to prefer the inside. You know, you open it up like a book, and this is the inside surface. The outside has a much heavier white center section. I actually used a slightly thicker white yarn. That's just how my yarn was. And I also haven't teased this into being completely flat yet. But it has a different look, and sometimes I prefer this side, depending on what the pattern is. This is just one of many patterns. You might like the back side better for this chevron design. It comes out with a stronger, whatever colors are in the center are stronger, heavier. Okay, I think I'll stop there. And thanks for, the material that I used for this sample, the small sample I usually make, is embroidery floss. That was embroidery floss. The heavier yarn that I prefer to use for demoing on the videos is about twice as thick. So you can also just double embroidery floss and get about this thickness. It's a heavier braid, and I use this type of yarn. One brand is called, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Mille Fili Fine or Fine. Another brand I use is Elan.com's yarn called Lara, L-A-R-A. I don't happen to have a label of that, but there's many other brands, and they're somewhat floss-like, highly mercerized, and you can separate the strands fairly easily, because I sometimes divide them in half. Anyway, that's the material I used. Okay, if I think of anything else I should have said, I'll add a little later, but that's all I can think of now. Thanks for watching.